Oh, hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Timbo Took, and this is the joy of painting Middle-earth, a time when we come together to paint the most fantastic landscapes Middle-earth has to offer. And maybe we'll paint a scary one a time or two. That can be quite fun, you know. Now, I may not be the best painter in the Shire, but I do love it so, and I'd love for you to paint right along with me. So if you're ready, grab your paints and your brushes, and let's go on an adventure. Oh, all right. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. As you can see, we have another black canvas this week. We've been doing quite a bit of these lately. That's right. And we have a very special painting for you today. So let's get to it. I have my canvas prepared. Now I painted that black. It was white canvas. I painted it black with a black acrylic gesso. That's right, I let that dry, and now I put a liquid clear right on top of that. Just a very thin layer just to make sure it's a wet canvas, so we can do that wet on wet technique that the Blue Wizard taught us how to do. Oh, that's right, the Blue Wizard. Bob Ross the Blue. He used to come to the Shire once a week when I was just a boy, and he'd teach all us hobbits how to paint. So that's what we're doing here, just honoring him. All right, and we've got our colors on our palette here: alizarin crimson, phthalo blue, sap green, burnt umber, ivory black, cadmium yellow, yellow ochre, and of course titanium white. So we're going to come here, and this is going to be a very dark night. It was a dark and dreary night, and I'm just going to come. We're going to put just a mist on there. That's right. Maybe we'll just keep this. I was going to go blue, but we're going to do a lot of red in this painting. So I don't want to put the blue down, because if I put the red, it'll just turn it to purple. So we're going to come in here. I'm just using that ivory black, just mixing that in. And we're just going to come up. That's a dark gray. That's okay. It'll show up on here. And just in the center part, we're going to come and we're just going to start mixing this in throughout. I'm just going to tap it in. Just put that color all throughout here, just this center portion right here. The edges will be very dark, so we're not too worried about those. That's right. If you have to, just put a big old hobbit foot right on your easel and steady it out. If you have an easel that's as tipsy-topsy as old Timbo Took's. That's right, that's fun to say. Tipsy-topsy as Timbo Took's. There we go, we just pop that in. And you say, oh, Timbo, that just looks like a mess. That doesn't look like mist. Oh, that's okay, that's okay. We'll just come back, and what we'll do is we'll get just a little more of that titanium white. Put that on our brush, and now we'll just come in and we'll pop that in. That way these are going to mix together. And let's just do that. Let's just do that now. Just mixing those together. Just using some crisscross or circular techniques. That's right. That might be a little bright even for what we're going for, but that's okay. We'll soften it out. We don't make mistakes. That's right. The Blue Wizard taught us we just make happy accidents. There we go. Now, as I said, this is a very dreary evening in the forest. What we're painting tonight comes out of chapter 2 of old Mr. Bilbo's book, The Hobbit. There and back again. That's right. A Hobbit's Tale, there and back again. Oh, he was on this journey with the dwarves. That's right, he was on the journey with the dwarves. And this was just at the beginning of their journey. Oh, this, you could say, was the first adventure of the journey. They were off adventuring, and it was a dreary, rainy night, and they saw a light off in the distance. Oh, well, you know who they picked to go investigate that light. That's right. Oh, Mr. Bilbo. They thought, well, he's the burglar. He should go investigate it. That's right, and that's what he did. That's what he did. And as we bring this to the edge, we just want that very soft there at the edge. So there we go. Now let's clean off this brush and we'll soften that a little more. we're going to clean our brush in odorless paint thinner. That's right, that's what we have in our bucket here. Just clean that brush off. And then, of course, I'm in the Hobbit hole, so I'm not going to beat the Sauron out of the brush and throw the paint thinner all over the Hobbit hole. We'll do that when we paint outside. That'll come up soon. But for now, I've just got a rubbish bin down here, and we're going to beat the Sauron out of the brush. There we go. Right down there in the rubbish bin. So we take that brush. Now we're just going to soften this a little more. So we just bring that up, just soften that out. There we are. That just gives us some background in this forest. Just soften those edges. There we go. As I said, it's very dark in those corners, so don't worry about that too much. Oh, we may have put it on a little thick here, but that's okay. That's okay. You know, if you put it on thick, this would be a good learning lesson right there. Say we put too much on. What you do is you take a paper towel. I like these blue ones. That's right. Oh, I got a little in my paint there because I was using both hands. Just these blue ones. They don't leave a lot of lint. But you can take it and you can just pull some of that paint off. That's right. We'll just use this as a lesson here. Just take that. Oh, I put too much paint on, Timbo. That's okay. It's not a big deal. Just put that, do that. We can even make some new shapes in there, that sort of thing. There we go. Now we can come back. We can come back to one of our blender brushes. You see, we just did that there. Now let's come to one of these soft blender brushes. Now remember, these like to shed, so before I start to use them, I've learned just try and pull any loose hairs out of there. There we go. Now just lightly we're going to come up here, and now we'll just mix this together, and that just gives us that misty look. There we go. That beautiful misty look back in the forest. There we are. Now you can do this as soft, you can do it very soft, or you can press a little bit here. We don't have a lot of detail going on. It's not like clouds where we're trying to retain some shape. So you can put that on. There you go. And you see how that blends that together. There we are. Just being kind of rough with it. You can even bring it out here on the edges and just fill up that space. There we go. And I'm just going to lay this off to the side because we're going to use it again here in a few. There we go. That's just our background there. Now we're going to have some trees in there. But some of these trees are so far back. Oh, there's not much to them. So we'll just take... Oh, I was going to use a palette knife. We don't need that. We don't need much texture. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm doing tonight. Oh, it's a fun evening. I spent some time at the Green Dragon. Oh, you know, dancing and singing and all those sorts of things. And then I thought, oh, what a good time to come back. It's nighttime right now for me. And it's a good time to put a painting down for you. So we'll come back here and let's just put in... We're just going to put in some trees. We're just going to bring this right down. There we go. Just bring that right there. Just kind of get lost at the bottom. That's fine. That's fine. And I may have put that in a little crooked. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay if there's not much to these trees. These trees are back in the distance. right there. There we go. Now we have that. Like I said, we were just going to set this blender brush off to the side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to soften this out some. We're just going to put this mist right in front of these trees. Right there. Not much happening, not much going on with those trees. There we are. We'll just kind of blend them away off into the back. There we go. There we go. Hopefully my hand's not in the way. I can do that sometimes. We're just given the idea that that's back there. That's right. There we go. If you have to, just knock some of that paint you might be picking up. Just knock some of that off. There we go. Try and keep my hand out of the way. There we are. And we just soften those to the back. And that mist, that puts that mist right in front of those trees. And they'll just sink back. The more we put in front of it, the more they'll sink back. That's fine. That's fine. There's not much detail to these. And you can see we're just kind of using that brush. Oh, just a little rough there. That's okay. That's okay. Same with this one. There we go. There we are. There we go. We're just setting up the background right now. Just setting that up. There we are. Let's come. Let's come. Now we have those trees that are in the back. Let's go to, some of our burnt umber. And this is a little thick and goopy. I did a painting, a day or two ago, and I had so much left I didn't want to just throw that off. So I just left it on there, figuring I'd be coming back to do a painting for all of you. That's right. Now let's put this tree in here. Let's just put this tree. And you see as we give that a little bit of color, and we have it in front, you can see that's more of a tree there. That's right. There we go. And try and keep my hand out of the way. I know sometimes old Timbo can be right in the way when I'm painting. I don't mean to. Come back to some of that. Load that up. Oh, let's put another one right here. Right here. Let's just come down with that. And we're just going to put a couple of these in. So this just takes a few minutes. We're just setting this up. Oh, right there. There we go. Bring that down. If I hold the brush down a little further, you can see it a little bit better, I think. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. One day old Timbo will get another pocket Palantir and we'll have two of them set up. Oh, I tried that before and it worked out pretty good, but it took me so long to make these videos for you. I thought I'll never be able to put as many out as I'd like if I'm taking all my time doing that. So someday down the road we'll get back to that. That's right. Put that big old tree right there. Bring that down. There we go. It'll just get lost up there. There we are. And do another, maybe over here. There we go. Now this painting is inspired by, the professor himself. Professor Tolkien. You know Professor Tolkien. He had many conversations with old Bilbo, and he brought these stories to you. But he liked to draw himself, and he drew some of these pictures from Middle-earth, and I think he knew better than anybody else. So this one is inspired by one old Professor Tolkien's pictures that he drew. That's right. I'm going to finish this off at the top so it goes right off our canvas there. This one too. Right there. Maybe I'll bring big one right down the side here. We're just using up this burnt umber. I didn't have much of it left anyways. There we go. Just bringing that right down here. There we are. And you can see that's gooping up. That's okay. That just gives us texture in our tree. There we go. Just bring that down. If we have to fix these feet of the tree down the road, we can. Let's make him a little thicker. We want him a little thicker like old Timbo. Like old Timbo, that's right. There we go. And look at that. Look at that tree right there. Now we know these trolls. We know these trolls were here having their evening dinner and doing a bit of grumbling about it as well. Maybe that's back there. Maybe one right here. There we go. All right, and you see we have this, it gives us this deep forest we're looking at here. Maybe come with the one that's a little darker. Maybe he's a little further back, but not so far back. There you go. That gives you, some have more color, some are closer, some are further, some are hidden in the mist. That's right. Now, don't worry, we'll come and we'll highlight these trees a little, but we need to make some things happen in here. So let's go and do that. That's right, as old Mr. Bilbo came up, they had a campfire going. They did, so we wanna work that out. So we're gonna have some grass here. Maybe take just a touch of sap green. Bring that down. We're gonna bring some of this yellow ochre right into that. Right there. We're just gonna make that color up. Now this grass, it won't show much color. In the daytime, it'll have a lot more green in it. You'd be able to see it a lot better. But here in the nighttime, that's right, this grass, we'll just bring this. It's going to be colored by the fire. We're going to have that old campfire right there. So we just plop that in. There we go. It'll come back this way and fade out and fade in. There we go. The brightest right down here. Just using that 2-inch brush, just tapping it almost straight up and down. almost straight up and down. That'll give us that grassy appearance. There we go. Bring that out here. There we are. There we are. And then, of course, the light will fade off and it'll fade down to almost nothing down this way. There we go. We don't have to have a ton of that. There we are. Just put that on. Bring it back over this way. There we go. Now, let's maybe we have there's some leaves and things up there. So let's just take our sap green, maybe take a little darker, that ivory black, mix that in with the sap green, and then up here in the trees, we're gonna have some leaves back this way. There we go. Just bring those down. Maybe that's a little thick. So let's loosen that up. Loosen that up with a little, there we go, with a little paint thinner. So we're just gonna put these on, just have some leaves and things in there. And don't worry, those will get highlighted too by our campfire. There we go. There we go. Take the corner of that brush and we're just jabbing down with this. Right there. Maybe using that bottom corner. There we go. Load some more up. And there we go. Just putting some leaves back there. Pop that in and pop it on here. There we go. So now we have just put some leaves back there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make our campfire right here. All right. Now we're going to, let's take some of our alizarin crimson. We're going to bring it down here, grab a little bit of our yellow. All right. Now let's put some of this fire on. So right here, this is where our fire is. Just bring that down. We have that dark crimson color back there. There we go. Now what we want to do, all right, so now I've got this small palette knife, and we're just going to make up an orange. Right there, we have that red in the background. Let's just make up an orange here. There we go. We have that on our palette knife, and now we're just going to bring some of this in, just mixing it together. There we go. There we are. Now we're going to wipe off that palette knife. And now we're going to come straight to some of this yellow. And this will mix in as we come, but we don't want to push too hard. We want that yellow to be the center of this fire. We want it to stick. Oh, hopefully stick. There we go. Get that on there. Now, sometimes the biggest part of this art is trying to get the paint to stick that you want to stick and the paint to come off. You need that paint to stay where it's supposed to. There we go. That's our fire right there. And we'll come back sometimes. All right, let's put a few logs there too. We want some logs. Sometimes when we do things, we may have to come back and fix it up a little bit. That's okay. Let's put a log right here, right across there. And we'll even highlight that log again once we get this going. Here comes a log right there. And let's wipe off that palette knife. Now let's get a highlight color for this log. There we go. We've got that. We just want to highlight this. This one underneath too. There we go. We've got our fire going. But now, let's take our bigger palette knife. Now we've got this going, and this is going to highlight these trees. So let's come into that highlight color. We don't want it to be brighter than the fire, so we're just going to take some yellow ochre, dull that down a bit, put it on our palette knife, and then this is just going to highlight these sides of the trees. Right there. You can see that color of the fire, highlighting that. There we go. Come on this side. Hopefully I'm not in your way. I'll try and flip this palette knife over. And then this one. There we go. Just giving that tree a highlight. And it fades away the higher it goes. And we got some closer ones down here yet too. Right here. This one here. Just pull that across. Just kind of giving it that rounded motion. Right up that trunk. There we go. And look at that. And that other one over there. Let me get that one too. I hope I don't get in your way as I do this. I'm just going to flip this knife over and I'll pull it this way. Now, if I was just painting this all by my lonesome, I'd just stand right in front of this and you wouldn't be able to see a thing. So sometimes old Timbo has to tilt his head and make something happen here. Kind of using my hand a goofy way. There we go. Just bringing that highlight up the tree. There we go. And we got one back here. This one, it's going to be a little further away. So we're going to dull that even more with some of that yellow ochre. We don't want it to be too orange. It'll still look pretty bright. And this tree is facing more, you have more of the whole face of the tree that's seen by the fire. So we're going to pull that across more of that face of the tree. There we go. And let's do the same. There's this one right here as well. Turning my hand the goofy way. Turning my hand a goofy way. There we go. Just bringing that right up. There we are. Now, let's even come to some of these leaves and things. Let's give ourselves a nice clean brush. We've got that on there, and we're just gonna give these leaves a little reflection of that fire as well. That's for sure. That's for sure. There we go. There we go. Got our nice little campfire there. That's right. Maybe we'll come and we'll even make a little path here. Little trail. Little trail that maybe leads right into this campsite. Let's just bring it down this way. There we go. And maybe put a little highlight on that path. There we are. There we are. Now, let's see. Oh, I think we have a little more time, so maybe there's some big trolls hiding back here behind the trees, waiting to see what else comes up. They already had a burra hobbit come up. That's right, old Mr. Bilbo. He started to say he was a burglar and then decided, oh, that's probably not the best thing to tell the trolls. And so he changed it to hobbit, so it came out as burra hobbit. What's a burra hobbit? Oh, Bill or maybe Bert said that's the name of those trolls. That was the name of those trolls. So let's put a big old troll head. He's right here peeking out. Maybe his big old shoulder is coming here, and maybe he's holding on to that tree. And maybe one of his big old legs is right there. You can kind of see that. Oh, and these, you can always come back and put more details than old Timbo puts in there. You might be better than old Timbo at painting this sort of thing. That wouldn't be too hard. There we go. Maybe you see his other arm over on this side. He's a big mountain of a troll. That's right. He was just hiding back here. There's one of them. Let's do another. let's say we got one right here. Hiding behind this tree, are ya? Hiding behind that tree. Maybe he's sitting and his big old belly is sticking out. He's trying to hide behind that tree, but his belly is bigger than the tree. Oh dear, I hit the canvas with my palette. Maybe that's his belly sticking out there. And then his big old foot comes down. Maybe his arm comes around this side of the tree. There we go. That's just that big old fat troll sticking out. Let's give him a chin there. There we go. Maybe his arm was back there, but oh, that big old troll. And let's do one right here. Right here, peeking out. He'll be a little taller because he's probably the closest one to us. They're not very good at hiding, that's for sure. But in the dark, it's harder to see. I probably wouldn't be a very good painting if I made it as dark as it actually seemed. There we go. Give his big old mitts right there. That arm coming down. These fellers weren't too pretty, that's for sure. Probably a good thing it's so dark. Probably a good thing it's so dark. There we go. Bring his foot down right there. Maybe he's squatting a little bit because he's so tall. But he's behind a tree, so you can't see much of him. And then let's just fill that in. There we go. We got our big trolls right behind those trees. That's right. And oh, maybe. I know they didn't go hiding until after Mr. Mr. Bilbo was there. But maybe, just maybe, we'll just put him in here. Just because. Maybe we'll just put, Mr. Bilbo. How's he gonna sneak around with that red coat on? How's he gonna sneak around? There we are. Just a little reminiscent of the old professor's drawing. That's right. And let's see. Let's come here. Put old Mr. Bilbo's head right here. And of course we need to highlight that hair. Let's just come. Some of our yellow ochre just to put old Mr. Bilbo's hair in there. There we go. That's a little wet. You know what? That's what we can show again. All right, we're putting Mr. Bilbo right here. And that's getting a little wet. A little too much paint thinner in there. So we can come and just dry that off a little. There's not a lot of detail there, so it's not that big of a deal. But we'll just come back. I'm going to get some of this yellow ochre, trying not to making sure it's not too thin. And let's just put old Mr. Bilbo's mop of hair right here. There we go. There we go. And oh, that might be hard to see his little coat there. But what we can do is he's coming into that fire. So maybe he's highlighted by that fire a little bit. There we go. There's Mr. Bilbo. We'll just say that's Mr. Bilbo coming up. Now, of course, we know in the story, oh, Mr. Bilbo, he came up and they didn't see him. They didn't hear him, they didn't see him. Not until he tried to pick the pocket of the troll and that purse coming out of the pocket. Oh, that purse squeaked and said, oh, who are you? Oh, that purse gave him away. Oh, that wasn't very nice of it. No. But there we go. We have that little painting that's inspired by the professor himself. That's right. Nobody could know it better. Nobody could know it better, and that's out of chapter 2. So, I hope you try this one out. This is a little bit of a simple painting. We just did a little fun one tonight. And I appreciate you being here like always. Now remember, you can go to timbotook.com if you want to find things like old prints of paintings I've done in the past, or if you want a coffee mug or a t-shirt or something fun like that. All right, please hit that like button. Remember to subscribe, and we'll see you again next time. Goodbye, and God bless.